Call it 6 o'clock. September 5, 2024, the Sac City Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Board meeting. Calling to order. Curtis Blaze here. Dylan Bruns.
Here.
Steve Crabb.
Here.
Kathy Haas.
Here.
Carla Moshnock.
Yes.
Marge Sands.
Here.
Russ Haas. David Striegel. David Engel. Kim Peterson. Chuck LaFoy.
Here.
Larry Mailer. Okay, anyone see anything? What? We have enough for a quorum.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Otherwise
recording.
Otherwise I could get Russ here. He's-
Oh, no, we're good. We need four.
Because he just got.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voters.
Yeah, he got out of the
6.
field and he's pooped.
Conflict of interest check. Does anybody see anything on the agenda with which they have a conflict? If not, moving on to public forum, which is not on the agenda, but public forum. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about? Anything from members of the public that they want to bring in that they've heard about regarding Trails business? If not, move on to approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion? Okay. Got Dylan and we have, Marge, first and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. That is in your packet. This might be the first time you're seeing it. Go ahead and take a moment to look it over and see if there's any changes that need to be made, any amendments to it that need to be made. Is that marshmallow?
No.
What's
I
in the
didn't
middle?
have marshmallow. It's cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
It's
Wow.
better.
I don't know what you're here for, but yes. Once you've completed reviewing the minutes, anyone who wants to make a motion, feel free. Or tell me something needs changed.
Other side.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
It was a big meeting last
It
week.
was long.
I'm going to assume 16 is gonna be brought up tonight.
On the
Yes.
agenda.
Aye. Oh, that doesn't need to say and parking though. So is it parking that you wanna talk about?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Where are you talking?
In the minutes, and parking, I'm crossing out
How much number?
16.
What, 16?
16?
I don't see that.
Picnic tables and parking.
Oh, picnic table and parking.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm assuming just the picnic table.
Okay, is it picnic tables that you wanna talk about tonight?
No, I'm good with that. I just, no.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
Do you want like spelling errors?
No.
Why, you got a checklist over there, dude?
Well,
It's fine with me.
there's a word
Correct whatever.
there's a
correct
word in
what-
number 13 that isn't a word. They suggested, I think, changing the wordage on the sign.
Oh.
instead of what it says.
Oh.
Champ going.
Okay,
Yeah, that might,
spelling,
yeah.
Jim gone.
Cham,
Teacher proofreading.
gum, good.
On the fingers.
Been working on Duolingo, have you? No, that's good to me.
I've been working on, oh crap, I gotta get this done, throw it in AI.
Yeah.
So to entertain a motion to, approve the minutes with the changes noted.
Also move.
Kath- And All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. What's next? Treasurer's report. Kathy?
I went to the city office and picked up a copy of it. I thought I'd stuck it in my bag and now I don't see it.
The dog ate it.
The dog ate it.
Yeah.
So anyway, she said it was all spent. And,
We have no money.
we have no money. Well, it still says 3,000 and something, but she said that was already spent for,
We went over budget between the bridge and
yeah, the bridge,
the picnic tables.
yes.
Okay. Hey, remind me who made the first on approval of the agenda? I said it out loud, but I didn't write it down.
Probably me.
Dylan.
Yeah,
I did, she
Oh.
seconded it.
Okay, so we have 0.
and we have a bill,
How much is the bill?
$21.90
From who?
from Russ Haas for screws and bolts.
What should we do?
Just, we'll cut it out. No
How much do we have in the whatever?
Whatever. We don't have it,
0 at the city.
yeah.
14 something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 14,549 in foundation,
549. .00.
0.68.
0.68 foundation.
That can probably go under capital improvements for parks, being that is technically a park.
Well, how about we approve it and let Jamie figure out where he wants to take the money.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to approve the bill from Russ Haas in the amount
$21.90.
$21.90.
I so move.
A second.
So that was Carla and Marge. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any other bills to do you have any other bills to present?
No.
Sounds like, in a nutshell, we've got $0 left in our city fund, $14,549.68 in the foundation. Is that everything?
Trees 530, wherever that money is.
Trees, 530.
So just so everybody kinda knows, the bridge and the picnic tables came into about $37.50 roughly was the total cost, so I mean, the grand scheme of things, it was money well spent if you ask me, I mean,
Sure.
two
They look
big
good.
projects that we wanted done, so.
We'll talk about them later in Trails Camping Update. Entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I move we approve it
Yeah, we-
as spoken.
already did that.
No, we approved the bill.
Oh, I'll make a motion.
No, too late.
Marge already did.
Marge already did.
Second.
Oh, I'll second.
There we go.
It's a Marge and Dylan night.
Yeah.
They're racing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to street sign update. I haven't heard anything from the city about UV protectant for the existing signs. The 3 signs that we needed to order new are being ordered
Through Tom.
through, I don't know, Prison Industries. I think Tom's doing it, but Jamie might do it, I'm not really sure. But then I'll put those up when they come in. And that is all I've got for that. Does anybody have any questions about the street signs?
Are those all up then, other than those 3?
There's the disputed ones that are like in the corners of the streets where there isn't any other choice but to turn left or right that I haven't put up yet.
Oh, okay.
And there's the ones that go on the pole out at the school at the end of the sidewalk because there's no pole, so it's not up yet. And there's the ones that will go on the pole that will exist at the corner of the cemetery that aren't up yet. So that's where we are with those.
And down here in the campgrounds too. Weren't you gonna put one?
Those
down?
are 2 of the 3 that I
Oh,
ordered.
okay, alright.
Right. Sorry, I wasn't trying to hide that from
No,
anybody.
no.
Does anybody have any more questions about street signs or any more discussion? If not, we'll move on to water trail.
I got one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Are they doing painting of the streets? Or is that a thing of the past now that there's signs up?
I don't know, because those things are different than the signs,
Okay.
and, they didn't paint them this time.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
No, that's why I was asking, cause they did all the painting.
You know, that's a good point, I should ask. It seems like we have to ask every year, which makes me feel like it might be kind of a pain to them. Cause the painting stuff is put away now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Has anyone been out to review them?
Yeah, they're
Were they
pretty much,
last year?
they're pretty much non-existent, some of them. There was one the other day, I could see where one was probably supposed to be, but it wasn't there.
Do we wanna grab the stuff one of these days and just go out and?
Well, my
cut
thing
them
is
out?
it even an official trail anymore, or?
So it is, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Because we still have the school and that's what it was for.
Oh, okay.
Just so drivers would be aware as they're driving up Robbins and 11th Street and 12th Street that stuff is,
Look out for kids.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it. Once you do the talking there, I mean.
We'll
whatever
figure it
you-
out.
Yeah, whatever you wanna do.
Okay, we'll get it done then. Anything else for street signs? Okay, moving on to water trail. Steve, you went down the thing and found south of Lubeck that there was a big tree in there. Has any action been taken on that?
No.
Okay, so it might still be there?
Yep.
And that's really all there is?
Yeah.
There isn't an update from the DNR lady, the final report, nothing like that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, down, yeah. I remember you mentioned on that last time.
Yeah.
Okay, no final report. Do you have any idea how we might get that, since we sort of, in a way, paid for it? Or was awarded it,
Get
be
that
more accurate?
grant thing done.
Yeah.
I just need to, I can ask Chris out at the county, see what,
He
if he's
might
had
know.
any touch with her.
They probably have more on it than.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be the first one that we got contact, but she should send the email out to all of us, but I can see if Chris can follow up on that,
Okay,
kinda. Yeah, that's kind of a bad thing.
we'll let you do that then.
Okay,
For
sure.
next month.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to report on water trail?
No.
Alright, discussion of launch of campaign for ATV trail. I'll just start off this discussion by saying that I got a copy of the coming soon sign for the OHV ATV trail. So I'll be able to change the wording to the right there to more accurately reflect the, like the funding and how that'll all work. I've got a question for you guys about that. Jamie is indicating now that he's gonna break this up into phases. And that the OHV trail might just be its own thing. And we practically got enough money anyway. So he's assigned me to just call up, Dan Clean and get an estimate for how much it might cost. And then maybe just change the sign to just say that much. Maybe we just need $30,000 raised. And then we wouldn't have to put anything else on there since that stuff's gonna happen later and at a different time. The thinking being that maybe we don't need any of the grant for the OHV trail now that we know how like inexpensive it will be. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
So I'll call it Dan Clean and I'll get an estimate from him of what he thinks it might be. And I'll check back with you guys one more time next month to make sure that's all okay. And we'll do a vote on that and then put the sign up. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
Okay, so, that said, is there any further discussion about the launch campaign for the ATV trail from anybody here?
I've been watching for the sign to go up.
So any thoughts? So if we do that, you know, we've got the money, we're gonna go for it, we would start in the spring, or,
Just start? Yeah, probably the spring,
yeah?
yeah,
Well, there's
depending
a
on,
lot of cleanup of old tires down in there and metal pieces and things. I walked down in there the other day and there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done that I think maybe we could do,
The
get
only,
it cleaned it up.
the only thing that I would say is gonna be, doesn't need to be overlooked is that north fence line needs to be established before ATVs are ever thought of going.
sure,
in there.
absolutely.
And that's gonna be it's gonna be a pretty decent chunk of change to do that. I mean, that's, over 1,000 foot worth of fence, so. Just make sure when that discussion's had,
Well,
that is.
Just as a thought, could we put a rope up first to make it obvious where it's gonna be?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't wanna clothesline anybody, I mean,
No,
it could be
no.
like that hand rope we have on the trail that's really big, and like hang flags off of it and stuff.
Yeah, I think you need something up there, at least.
Show them where the.
Be a nice temporary
Yeah,
thing,
at least temporarily, yeah.
cause then we can open before we have that amount of money.
Right.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, would that be acceptable?
Yeah, I'm just saying that, I mean, even part of the building process, I mean, you could have that included in that goal before it can
Mhm.
open. I mean,
Yeah.
why not have that, you already got that ball rolling, just go ahead and include that in that process.
That's a good, I mean,
Makes sense.
you know, if that's gonna be the most expensive thing that we really need,
For that ATV park, that's where I see the expense being.
that should the ability to put a fence up should still be within our grasp, I hope, before
yeah.
spring.
Yeah.
Raising the money for it.
Yeah.
And the worst case scenario is, we just gotta wait until next July and take from next year's funding and finish it that way. But, be nice to raise the money. We're not applying for any grants for it. This means we're not applying for any grants for it. We're just going for it.
If we have the money, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright?
So the grant application that he's working, I'd assume you saw a copy of that grant
Yes.
that he wrote?
Yes.
So that's gonna be for, you wanna explain to them what that's for?
It's gonna be for the, lake to lake trail that goes through town, connecting, the two edges of town. One edge to the theoretical trail that will go up to the Spirit Lake, and the other end, connecting to the trail that Lance is working on, going down to Lakeview. It'll, I think, widen the trail, going from, I'm not sure what the plan for M54 through town is, Fifth Street. But once we get down to Main Street, that'll be widened, and then there'll be transitions, so there's no curbs. Going up the hill and out to the west edge of town on Main Street. And then when we get to the west edge of town, that'll meet up with Lance's trail that he's working on. So that'll be that. And then, you know, we don't need to buy the land anymore. We're working on some stuff for putting in mountain bike trails on the west side of the Raccoon River, across from the Riverview hiking thing. And then hiking trails would also be included in that. And then the hiking trails where the OHV park is, and, you know, and working on the bridges to get across from the Chautauqua trails to the OHV, and from the east side of the Riverview trails to the west side of the river. I think those are where the two bridges are planned, right? I got that right?
Yeah.
Remember right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Was there something else? Was there some other project too?
Yeah, the wrench property was
The Wrench property is gonna be in that too.
the mitigation of.
We found out that the tire situation is going to be a lot less expensive than we thought. So that'll be a pretty easy part to get in that grant and be worth a lot of points because we're cleaning it up. And I think that is it for that. Is there any further discussion on the discussion of launch campaign for ATV trail?
When are we looking for a date for that?
Well, the sign would be next month, and start making it, I mean, Kathy can go out and start making trails right now if she wants, this fall, making a walking trail. And honestly, people could start using it for that. The other stuff would be in the spring, I imagine. I don't think we're gonna plan.
I'm
anything.
talking the sign getting.
Oh, next month. Or, you know, I mean, really, I'm not doing anything too controversial, I'm just gonna take off all the stuff so that we just have, so it just reflects just the OHV stuff on the sign. We could put it up, we could order it and put it up as soon as I get that done.
And as soon as you get the dollar amount through.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't really have to vote on it, I guess I was just assuming you guys wanted to see it one more time before I said yes to it.
That would be nice.
Okay, well then, next month. Alright, so anything else for number 8? If not, we'll move on to number 9, trails and camping update. Mulch. Talk about the mulch.
I think we need to keep moving on the mulch, putting some more of that down.
Yeah.
The maintenance on it this year has not been good, so.
It's been a wet, floody year.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but
not
the
too
tree
bad.
is gone.
Yeah,
I just crossed the path.
I went down there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
That was you
I-
that did that?
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, there were several bad spots.
Carla just walked it last week. It was clean, right? Completely.
Thursday I mowed it all and
Oh, okay.
cut everything back. So.
We went down to cut everything back, and it was all done already.
Yeah, I did it on Thursday.
I think it maybe Thursday night even we were gonna do that. Was that?
No, that was over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. or
Okay.
something. Yeah, but, yeah, it looked good.
So
I think-
mulch. Do we have a better delivery system than the overheating truck?
Well,
Or
well,
would we just use that again?
I don't think there's a problem with that as much as it was getting it a little closer, so we're not. The roundabout time's
Right.
not as long.
Yeah,
Okay,
So I've talked with Tom, we have a spot cleared out right there by that lower shed just inside the trail. If he can free up a couple guys, we're gonna start moving that into the timber, so the pile's actually in the timber ready to go, so we can just load it right there and
wow, yeah,
that'd be handy.
it'll be relatively,
handier, yeah.
more
Get a
available,
couple ATVs to carry the buckets around.
so.
Or the overheating truck thing worked pretty good.
It did work, but, yeah.
Is it so right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, that's not the first time that thing's overheated. That thing wants to die and we just won't let it.
Yeah, and it was snow.
That was the perfect size, honestly.
Yeah, it worked really well, actually. But, I would say that somewhere around that first frost would probably be a good time to do that, just so the ground's firmed up, any of the soft spots are firmed up.
Sure.
But just wanted to get it on the list here, just to kinda keep that in the back of our minds to keep rolling on that.
Okay, just, you contact me by text and I'll send it out to the rest of the group when that is ready to go, and we'll start making plans then. I'm assuming we're gonna do the loop that comes from the landing and around before we do the other loop, you know, if you think of it as figure 8.
We can either go from the big cottonwood that's in the middle of the trail and finish that back, bring that around, or like you said, from the landing up to, that first bench that's along the river there. That's really all that's left there. And, I mean, there's kind of decisions that need to be made there too, cause there's areas that.
Are we gonna
currently-
mulch along the river where it's sandy?
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
How do we
it's
feel about
grass.
that?
Yeah, I think that's worthless.
Yeah.
Worthless to mulch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause it'll just wash away, and that's not bad.
The only bad part about that is it's the only spot you gotta mow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets forgot about and then the trail disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, there was parts of it, I pretty much had to just blaze a new trail, cause I didn't know where the trail was at.
I was told by one person that it felt like they were trying to decide whether or not it was a deer trail or not.
And that's what it was one little tiny path, you know?
So other than that time, like last winter when we put mulch out and the truck overheated, there hasn't been more mulch added?
No.
That stuff stayed up
It
really
does,
well.
and the stuff that we put down 2 years ago,
Still there.
yeah, the stuff we put down 2 years ago and then added more to this winter, it's amazing.
Yeah,
But, I mean, we gotta keep going on it.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
All right, so that'll be the plan. Once it's in place, you text me, I'll text everyone, we'll make a plan. Trailhead map. That is the thing that is in, what's the name of that guy? Chris Park by the gazebo. Everybody know where I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay, so that thing is like any of the other signs we have that are 8x4s. It's aluminum with a vinyl wrap. And it would be we would be remaking it to reflect all the new trails. There'll be some cost there, and that'll come out of our foundation money if we try to do it immediately.
And that would just be him reprinting a vinyl and going over top of that one?
Right. But I don't know what the actual thing is. It's Q, it's not, Zimmerman. So I don't know what the process is. Does he go and take it down and do it himself? Do we take it down and give it to him? I don't really know that process.
Was this, for some reason, I'm having flashbacks here that was supposed to be part of that original J3 Red design that was, the design of that kiosk sign was part of that.
So what he's talking about is, we had J3 Red, which is an engineering firm, come in and map out like the river, the lake to lake trail through town, and then take care of all the other stuff as long as they were gonna be here and it would cost less to have them do everything at once. And so when they did that, you're saying that they looked at that kiosk? Cause I don't know if they did or not. Is that something you're saying that you know?
No,
they
that
did?
day he came here and he presented all that. I'm pretty sure that was brought up in conversation, that he would design that at that cost that he quoted us was, part of that was including that as
Oh,
well.
well, if that's the deal.
I mean, it would be a look back in the minutes or
Sure.
audio of it, but I'm almost certain it was said.
It might be something Jamie just knows and has.
And it would just consist of paying him to print it off for us,
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
just so we're not getting double hit on it.
Okay, so,
does that include a map for the other new one?
yeah, it would be
The
everything
bridge
that is so far.
Everything is built to date.
It wouldn't be, well, okay, so how do we feel about the OHV map then, since it wouldn't be accurate?
I don't think you can put that on there yet. I think that's a living map that just is gonna have to keep getting changed as things are added. You don't wanna have things on there that aren't there yet.
Well, then that brings up all the other places too where we have maps, because they're also reflecting that sort of, the changes as we go. I don't know if the ones in the park, do they need to be changed?
No,
Same thing?
I don't think so.
The Riverview one?
Yeah,
The one down below?
yeah.
Right, but if we made one at the trailhead for the Chautauqua part of the trail,
Yeah.
and we start connecting that stuff with bridges, then we would want to change all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's where remember last time I mentioned the painting?
Mhm.
That would be where that big mural comes and would have all of the walking trails throughout everything.
So this mural on the bridge, then we just cover that up and just have the full vision, just one single time, have it all out there?
Correct, yeah, have the whole nature trails on there.
And whether it's done or not, and then if we change something, we could just go change that
Mhm.
mural. So that'll be the place where the full vision is.
That would be nice, if you
And
could keep
instead
the
of-
kids from spraying it.
Instead of having like we have at all the other ones, it would just be painted on the wall, essentially.
Well, we've got a, anti-graffiti spray that we put on stuff, and if they did spray it, we could just wipe it off, just cleans off. So that would be just part of the,
Works. Yep, if it
part
works,
of
it's
the
good,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, there's some colorful messages
Yes.
written in there. Figuratively and
Uh-huh.
literally.
we need to
I
take
might check.
pictures of that and preserve it all
Oh.
for the museum. Any other discussion about the trailhead map? I'll go check with Jamie to see if J3 Red included that in their bid as part of the cost. That'd be nice to have it be paid for this time.
I mean, he's already done the legwork.
Mhm.
He has already drawn it out, I don't know. Because he's given us the rights to those maps.
J3 Red guy has?
Yeah, Q. He's already designed all of that, he's given us the
No, yeah,
rights
yeah,
to
yeah.
those.
Okay, I see
So
what you're
all
saying.
it consists of is printing it off on a vinyl.
I don't think that he hasn't charged us for printing that off. All he did was make that, and then the sign, the coming soon sign, which that was gonna be on, was extra from the design. Anyway, and I misspoke big time. I thought you were talking about the engineering firm. What's their name?
JEO.
JEO, see, so I was saying J3 Red, thinking we were talking about JEO.
Yeah,
JEO was designing that though, right? I mean, they were,
I don't think JEO had nothing to do with any map designing.
okay. So, forget everything I said. It was-
You were confusing me, I was wondering where you were coming from.
Right.
Okay.
Well, JEO and J3 Red is why
Yes.
I was confused. Okay, so let's just get back on track. J3 Red is Q, and he's already designed that.
Correct.
But he hasn't charged us for like doing new signs, so it will
Correct.
be
He-
extra cost
Yes,
to
he
do
would,
that sign.
the cost would be just for printing off the maps that he's already designed. He
Right.
should not have to redesign anything for us.
No, he won't have to.
Correct.
Okay.
So it should not be that expensive.
But he doesn't have anything drawn up for the new, trails, does he? The
Yeah.
ATV trails.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got that all done?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I was saying, do we put that stuff on the trailhead?
I think,
You think no?
I think no until we actually have
Until
a
we do.
trail there.
Okay.
and then it would just consist of him taking that layer off.
Well, do we wanna just like drag our feet until next spring and once we start doing it, put it on and only have that expense once? Cause
I
no one's
think it
gonna
made more
really
sense.
worry about it in the winter too much.
No. Well, yeah, they'd love it to go out there
Well, and is there a
in the
chance?
snow.
Well, we gotta make sure that we, promote snowshoeing.
Oh.
We could have a snowshoeing event this winter,
Oh. So
If
once,
there's enough snow.
if there's enough snow.
There's that.
There's the if part.
so when,
Did you
Dan
get more
Kylene
snow?
involved,
Yep.
is there a chance that the trail will change? The ATV trail?
Pretty good chance.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we've only got just an artist rendering of what it might look like.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't wanna do anything.
No,
till
we don't wanna
know
do anything until we have
What it is.
a trail.
Okay, well, okay, so that's a good point to talk about. We were talking about not having that stuff on, like doing the map now, doing the trailhead now, and not having that stuff on there, and then changing it again next year once that stuff is on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And just calling it this living document that we just change every once in a while.
yeah.
Coming soon.
About $800 per change, $877, something like that. It always goes up every time, but right now
Well,
we're in the
if it's that much.
$900 range.
Then we'll wait.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but that's with design. Since it's already designed, it might be less. Cause Zimmerman, I think, was saying with design that it would be around 300. Monarch, I'm sorry. I always do that. Got a Monarch law.
Such a hard thing for
Shouldn't have a D.
Such a hard last name to remember.
In my brain, it's just Sac City last name. Zimmerman, Monarch.
Let's just get a price, see what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
If it comes out,
Get price. And then we'll decide next meeting whether or not to do it in the winter or wait until we get the OHV trail done.
It'd be
Yes?
kinda nice to have one so that people could look at it and say, oh, it's coming, but.
Well, that's gonna be the coming soon sign too,
Yeah,
cause that's gonna all be on there.
yeah.
well,
Well, it's gonna be on there.
the nature trail will be where we drew that on, because Steve and I walked that and we dropped
Right.
pins.
Yep.
That is where that is going.
And the one on the west side too is just gonna follow the perimeter, it's close enough for
Correct.
that. Okay. 25 minutes, moving on, picnic tables. Kathy, Russ, who's not here, they look amazing.
They do,
Good.
they look really nice.
Do we have anything else, do we have any other picnic table business that we need to talk about? Other than
Just made sure, we chained them down to make sure they didn't disappear, because
I noticed that.
they are very nice,
They aren't gonna go running off with them.
no. We'll keep the honest thieves.
They were fun getting them out the doors of Russ's shop, let me tell you.
How did that end up going? Did somebody from the city come up and get those? Was that you?
Yeah, we came up with a trailer and picked them up and
Yep,
hauled
they
them
were
down
gone.
Like all 5 at once, 6,
Yeah.
whatever it was?
there. Then we
I
went,
thought you were just making one.
Thank you.
I was like, what's taking them so long?
uh,
kidding.
yeah, we went ahead and put the fire rings out too at that time.
Yeah,
I
so
saw
it looks like a real campground.
It does.
It's great.
Very cool. Firewood and lean-to are the same thing, so D and G are going together.
So now that we have that area down there, this is just an idea. We can shoot it down right here if we want. We definitely have access to wood down there where we could build a little lean-to and put firewood in there, so if they were camping down there, they would have something to burn. Just kind of a
I think it'd be good,
courtesy
it would protect the trees that somebody doesn't go out there and start breaking limbs off and stuff. I think,
If we just made it easy for them, gave them an easy solution.
Yep.
So when we break the limbs off and stuff, we can just leave them there.
I mean, we're constantly down there cutting stuff. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it would be simple for us to just put it there as a courtesy.
mhm.
And then you wouldn't have to haul it somewhere else.
As long
Just
as
an
we-
idea.
No,
As
it's a
long
great
as
idea.
somebody doesn't go down there and say, oh, I need a fire at home, I'm gonna take us all.
Well, so,
I was,
let's talk about the extra effort then for the city. Let's say you guys are cutting down a tree, or just you. And we've got like a tree that's down. Are you guys like cutting that into
I'm
firewood?
thinking all rounds, so just the stuff that's round,
Okay.
limbwood. you know.
Okay. So the big stuff would still go over to mulch, or where would that go?
Well, the big stuff would still just go wherever it normally goes, whether that's the burn hole or just, I was thinking more or less just the stuff that we cut down in the timber.
I see.
Trims,
Yeah.
yeah. That would be great.
Cause you're not gonna split anything or like that.
No,
You're
I
just
I
gonna
mean,
be-
if they wanna split it, they can
Yeah.
split it, but, I mean,
Right.
it's just a courtesy.
Yeah. No, it's
I
fine.
was,
Get rid of
for
it.
your comment there, I was thinking kinda away from the parking lot a little bit, so it's not easy access.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
That trail
idea.
that cuts through the middle of the campground, putting it at
Yes.
the end of that.
Sounds like a plan.
So it can't just be stolen by people that just coming by.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, but you're gonna have
you're gonna have those
shitheads
people.
anyway, but.
Yep.
So, I don't know if we need a vote on that. Just go ahead and make one.
So is the lean-to gonna be like just 10 or is gonna build it in the trees and all, or I mean,
Well, yeah,
put
I
it
guess
stack it between two trees and?
there's gonna be some material costs, so what I was gonna do was go to Jamie and see if we couldn't, as a capital improvement, see if that couldn't come out of parks. If it's okay if I approach him about that,
That's fine.
Depends on how big you pieces you need. We have a bunch of metal in our lean-to behind our shed too.
I wasn't thinking very big, just
Yeah.
5 deep and
We
one
might
panel
have,
wide.
we might have some out in our lean-to you can have for free.
Okay,
Well, we've got piles of, regular snow fence stakes too. I don't know how these things are built, but we got piles of that at the city shed too.
but we did have some lumber left over from the bridge over here, so I mean, we do have some resources.
Yeah, it's a go for it.
I just think it'd be a nice little courtesy for it, and
I
maybe,
think so.
Is anyone opposed to this? Should we have a vote to have, so someone can say no? Okay. Crossing bridges, E. I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but we have a very nice crossing bridge over the swamp in the Chautauqua side of the trail.
Been there. Did you have, you got a ramp? When I was there, you didn't have any
yeah,
step up?
I haven't been able to get down there yet to finish the approaches.
Yeah,
So it's a step on each side,
yeah,
bigger on one side than.
yeah.
And that's right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see from the
I-
highway.
But when I walked across that, it gave me a thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a handicap trail? If that had a ramp going up to that bridge and across, and then come down the other side instead of going up to the railroad tracks to come back along.
Well, we
Side.
did, but it flooded out and got all gross and nasty.
And I
Okay.
think it's gonna be that every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at that this spring when I was putting the trail back in there, and I tried to find a way to go through there, so we didn't even have to build a bridge. And it's just, that swamp goes from
Yep.
this to the railroad tracks,
To the
there's
rail-
just,
yeah.
there's no way around it unless you take the high ground. But yes, it's gonna be a ramp on both sides of the bridge.
Yep.
So,
But it would be nice to have a handicap trail.
You know, after flooding season is over, it'd just be a matter of running the Bobcat through the bottom after it dries out once to make a flat part on the bottom.
To make a loop on, coming on back, you could have the trail going up to the old railroad right away and have another trail connect across.
But I also say that like someone who has all the time in the world.
Yes.
I'm not the one driving the Bobcat.
well, I mean, I'll do whatever you want, but like right now, you go where that trail was.
Yeah.
It's wide open, but you're not gonna be able to tell where the trail is, cause the whole thing is just a mud flat.
Yeah.
There's no vegetation there to see this is a trail. It's just barren
Yeah,
where it was all flooded. It'd be like walking across a parking lot of trees and there's really no said trail. You might head off in the wrong direction where the trail is really going the other way. Like I said, I'll do whatever you want, but
stakes along the side to aim them in the right direction. You don't want to put down too much, cause if it's a wheelchair or something, that would be very difficult to manage.
Yeah.
But
Let's,
I think that
let's-
would be a good thing.
let's
to
think
have
about
our-
that and brainstorm it for next month, let's plan on
Okay.
figuring out a way to make a trail that isn't too hard to maintain, that we can just blast through, after the flooding's over every year, so that it could be accessible.
Yeah, so we could, I think that'd be good advertisement for the trail system to say, and we have a handicapped accessible trail.
That was part of that grant.
Yeah.
That was written in that grant that we're
Mhm.
applying for, that it would be, whatever that is.
80.
ADA
so-
compliant is the word they use, okay.
Alright,
That's my only thought.
do we need any crossing bridges anywhere else? I think there was one on the, OHV side that we
Correct.
kinda looked at.
Yeah.
A pretty big one, right?
It'd be very similar to that one, probably another 20 feet longer. I honestly, I thought this came in way cheaper than what I thought it was.
It
going
was
to be.
shocking, yes, how little it cost.
So, I mean, I think it's definitely in our ballpark to do it on the other side as well. Just kinda keep them all the same.
Yeah,
How many hands and hours did something like that take?
3 nights.
3 nights of how many people?
Me and my boy.
You and your boy. I thought I had envisioned like a whole city, cause I saw, one day I went out there, and there's a bunch of equipment.
The city guys did help me, push in the poles,
Okay.
drill the holes and put the poles in.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
And thank God we did it when we did, cause we got just a little rain and it was just enough to make that swamp again.
Moving on to hammock camping. What's this about?
It is.
Another thing, and again, it can be shot down, just throwing the idea around of maybe putting down there at this new campground, putting some poles in the ground for hammocks to be stretched across for hammock campers. It's kind of a thing that's taking off and a lot of people are starting to do it.
In modern times, do we need 3 poles or 4 for that, for the modern kind of hammocks?
2.
Just 2?
put cement around them, or?
Yeah,
I only ask because the kind I've seen, like, when, you know, running into them randomly on social media or whatever, there's always like 3. It's
yeah,
like a triangle.
Yeah, where you can have 3 people tying hammocks to 3 individual poles. So there's a couple different ways to go about it, and then, I don't know, we got some of those rest stops along the trail too, that, I don't know, a guy could maybe put a couple there.
Are we allowing burning back there?
I don't see why not. As long as it's in the ring. It states on our signs that.
Are there rings back in the rest areas?
Not yet.
Okay.
It states on our rules, the fires must stay on the ring, so if they burn the timber down, I guess that's on them and they'll get a ticket.
A little bit more to take it. Bet they won't do it again.
I bet the next year the stuff will look really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Again, it would be a low cost thing to do, that
yeah, it'd be an easy thing and an easy thing to advertise.
just gives another option
Right.
with little input.
Let's do a vote on that one. Entertain a motion
What'd you say
to,
about the cement, I'm sorry? You said there was gonna be concrete around it?
Or in the
No,
poles.
Pull the poles
Oh,
up.
interesting. Not very safe, but it sounded like a risk, me.
When we were on vacation with the grandkids one time, and we stopped out in Nebraska, and they were real tickled that that park had those. And so they all 3 slept in their hammocks that night, rather than in the tent. Fine.
I entertain a motion to, direct Dylan to look into hammock camping and bring back some costs. Just so we can keep moving forward on it.
I'll second that. That was a motion.
Kathy makes the motion.
So is that
Okay.
where they bring their own hammock?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, then the poles are already there for them,
So the hammock.
and we cut down all the trees that were in the campground there, so.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
Sorry.
I'll second.
Carla? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Is anyone opposed? We've got the lean-to, a shed. You wanna talk about shed?
So the city is going to pour a cement floor in that lower shed at the north trail, at the halfway trail, there's that shed that sits on that back road.
Yeah,
They're gonna pour a floor?
The city's gonna pour a cement floor and put a new garage door in there for us.
wow,
If we could paint that,
okay,
and that would be trail shed at that point. It's-
okay.
So the city's
I will
flipping the
paint
cost.
it if you get me the paint.
So that's something coming down the pipe that Tom's
Okay.
gonna do for us, so. They're gonna pour a cement floor and our trails mower will stay in there.
Okay. Do we match the red and white historic Indians color thing?
I think we keep
That's
it-
going on in all the parks, or do we match the brown and whatever more neutral tones that's going on in the cemetery?
I think you keep her.
I'd rather have the brown,
Yeah,
not screaming
yeah,
shed.
earthy.
Yeah.
Earth
Well,
tones.
besides, it kinda hides it, so where if it's bright red, everybody, oh, wonder what they put in there, let's go look.
$23,000 more. All right, oh, that's it then for trails and camping update, unless anybody has anything else they wanna talk about related to that. Hearing nothing. 10 is trees update. We, don't have Mr. Striegel here, Dr. Striegel, so there's nothing really to report. Do we have any, thing that we want to, that I could call him and tell him to research something if anybody has any thoughts or things they want to know from him?
I would like to get some trees planted in that campground area. There's absolutely no shade there.
Okay.
Whether that's from the tree farm out there, or if he's got some bigger ones that he would be willing.
Well, a quick discussion about that then would be how big of a shovel spade situation, piece of machinery do we have, like how big a tree can we get?
We have an 18-inch post hole.
18 inch?
I think that's how they did these ones down in Park.
Are we talking like that's the thing that goes like this and takes up the whole thing and
No,
carries
it's
it?
just a
Auger.
auger.
Makes the
Dylan, how
whole,
many trees are you talking about?
I'd say at least 4 or 5. I mean, they're not gonna do really any good for the
it's
first few years.
better to put out too many, and then, cause some of them are gonna die.
Are we just talking about taking some from north of the cemetery and having like seedlings? out
Like I
there?
said, whether he's thinking those, or I know he's got access to bigger ones too that
Yeah.
he's given the city.
Okay, in that case, I'll contact him and see how big we can get. Does
The
that
other
work?
thing is, we have $530 at the foundation,
Yeah,
and that's for
in
trees.
the trees, yeah,
And
we might as well use it, yeah.
you could
Well, I
use
mean,
that,
if
you could
we,
get
but if
bigger
we've got
ones.
a source of free trees, because he's just giving them to us, he's not really.
I understand that, but do you want a seedling, or do you want a
Yeah, I'd
tree?
like to get something that's kind of halfway established.
Yes, yeah,
That's not needing babied all.
I mean,
Those oaks grow really
$500
fast.
isn't gonna buy several trees, but it'd buy you 2 big ones,
Sure.
2 nice sized ones, I think.
And let
Okay,
him be the
so
check
judge of
into
which
it, I
ones
would
to get.
suggest you
I'll-
check into it.
what I'll do then is I'll talk to him about it and then encourage him to come to the next meeting so we can have a good long chat about it. What he thinks, rather than me trying to just say, I think this is what he meant.
Well, have him go down and look,
Yeah, I will.
that would
We'll
do
go
it,
tour.
yeah, go tour the campground.
How we did it last time at the parks is we just went, he walked it with us and we put flags and Tom's department took care of it.
Groovy. Okay, moving on to 11, parks update. Parks. I put this on here for some reason. Parks.
Lions Park, the musical stuff.
Yeah, but we talked about that last month.
Yeah,
Just, I guess to reiterate, Hometown Pride wants to turn it into sort of a living museum, a playable museum of like retro stuff that we go into for them to look into. They haven't talked about it since, cause they haven't had a meeting.
I thought they were gonna paint the teepee, or put another coat of stain or something on it,
Just aging it, letting it age, cause it's that stuff.
yeah.
Are you unhappy with how it looks right now?
No.
Is that-
Just what I heard that.
Nothing really, okay, nothing really then for parks, unless you guys wanna like talk about an improvement you'd like to see made or something like that. If not, we'll move on to the dog park update. We have Barb here. She's
Your
gonna,
turn
she's gonna tell
finally.
us some new stuff.
You have a map.
Yes.
So the powers that be have changed the location as of today. Who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow? Here's on your paper. It's between Kids World and Brook Ridge Apartments,
Oh, cool.
1.2 acres. So.
If everybody orients it the way that you can read it, Brook Ridge is on the upper left-hand side.
The north, yeah, and then South 16th Street there along the right, left-hand side. So then there's the small dog park, small dog section, the big dog section. The blue line is the water line that comes in off of Irvine Street. The driveway will come in off of Irvine Street. The city owns that right away right there. And the green square is the driveway, or the parking. And the light green is a sidewalk that will go around. Possibly it would meet up with the one at Brook Ridge and go over to the Kids World.
That would make sense.
So, and I didn't make a whole lot of these, cause I figured you guys could share. The new location, it's approximately 270 feet wide by 170 feet deep. It's got the 2 small dog and large dog areas. It pretty well explains that. Jamie's working on a budget. He thought it would be around $50,000 because it's smaller. The biggest cost is the fence.
Yep.
And the one thing that's important is to have the divider fence between the large and small dog needs to have a privacy. It's those privacy
Oh,
slats.
yeah.
Oh, so they don't see each other and get
Well,
all
and they'll
crazy?
see each other, but it's just, yeah. It's
More of a
just-
barrier
makes
that they can
Yes, it's
see.
more of a barrier, yes. So, and then you have to have, the double entryway for the small and the large.
Mhm.
And,
That would be in the back. You would enter from the
from the back,
east.
yes. They're by the parking lot, yes.
Yeah.
And he just put trees and benches anywhere, so, and we will have, water fountains in there for them. He said that we need to raise at least a half of the cash donations before we start the grants, so at least $25,000 first, have that in the bank. There'd be no surveying necessary at this point, at this location. And it is contingent on city council passing it, cause it just happened today and so they have not seen this yet.
I like that.
So, I had presented this before with my presentation, that was one of the 4 locations. And they directed it out to the industrial park, so
We did.
somebody did,
It was us.
okay. So, anyway, we're gonna go back to the beginning and start all over again, so we're 2 months behind. Any
2
questions?
months behind is 6 months ahead in any government project.
Yeah, that's about right. Any questions,
Who's
concerns?
where's the funding coming from? For the cash?
We're gonna do fundraising and donations and grants,
Private funding.
private funding, yes. We are going to also do sponsorships of major corporations for benches and watering fountains and all kinds of things like that. So, I don't think it'll be a problem to get.
So you're just gonna be out there hustling.
We're gonna have a meeting next Wednesday, I think you're gonna be there. And, we're gonna have our committee get together. We have somebody that's already working with the school to do a campaign to name the dog park. We want the elementary kids to be involved so that they take part ownership in this. And then I think we're gonna go from there and go into a walk your dog. We're gonna have people pledge how many miles, how much a mile for kids to walk their dogs. Kinda like we used to do around the lake for, what was that, for a church thing?
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna do that around have the kids walk their dogs and start raising some money. Just different things like that,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Well, I think it's great to get the kids involved.
yes, cause they take part ownership, you bet, you bet, so. We're gonna do all kinds of things to get going. We have, and I know this sounds stupid, we have $205 from the dog races.
Oh, really?
That we
Hey.
Yeah.
We already have seed money.
Yeah.
Everybody says,
Start.
so,
Yeah.
well, not a start, there's never a finish,
Right.
right?
You gotta start it to finish it, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
That's
cool.
good.
So, any questions?
No, actually, I'm kinda glad to see that there's something that somebody wants to do with that piece of land right there. Cause, I mean, I've been here 14 years and all I've ever seen is grassland.
Yeah,
You
Well,
know?
I've been here 50 and that's all it's ever been.
Right, so I mean, it's nice to see that somebody,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
that'd be
neat
good.
wants to do something. And it's pretty close, I mean, you got the school, you got Kids World, you got the apartments, and it's kind of a remote location for people to actually just drive up or walk up and,
Yeah.
and go in there.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
My only concern was, and I was told that the playground at the school is locked.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Looks like it is.
You're not supposed to have a dog park close to a playground, because people will take their kids and their dogs. They put their dogs in the dog park and they go watch their kids at the playground and their dogs are unsupervised.
Well, it's private
So-
property anyway, they'd be trespassing if they took their kids there.
Well, someone said it's locked, that's good.
Well, yeah.
I haven't been by there,
When I was
So-
working there, we locked it every day.
that's good.
yeah,
I didn't know that, so that makes me feel better about
We
it.
can just reiterate to them that they need to.
Supervisor dog.
Oh, yes, well, and it's necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
well, if you're gonna
And
have
it's
your dog
gonna-
there, then you need to be there, period,
Right.
otherwise you should not be there.
Right,
We could also put signage saying, this is a private,
well, and it will be on the signage, you know, we'll have
Supervise your dog.
that, we'll have all that on, because that way it takes a liability off the city.
Yeah.
When it's properly signed and everything is spelled out, and if something happens, that's their fault and not the city's. So. Anything else?
the green square is the parking lot,
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
Rock, I assume, for the time being.
I'm sure, yes. The city will have, Jamie has offered in their in-kind to run the water line and to do the parking, make the back street or whatever. So that will go in kind toward our project.
That's
So,
28 something an hour, 28.80 an hour or something
for city help.
for most
Plus-
grants,
Plus material.
plus material, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Like it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do we want to make a recommendation to council that they,
I assume that's already happening.
well, we already recommended to them the concept. If they're just changing the location, that's up to them.
So they were shooting it back to us.
They're not shooting it back to us, she's just.
I just
presenting.
wanted to give you guys an update.
This would just be like, if she got a grant or something, she could write that we specifically
Support them.
recognize and support this location.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
And I do have a letter of support from this board, but, you know, that's the.
Would just be additional evidence to present during the
Right.
grant. Let's do that, let's take a
Well,
vote.
we'll have good backing too for the grant.
I entertain a motion to recommend to the council that this location be adopted as the future home of the dog park.
I'll make a motion.
Kathy
I'll second it.
and Marge. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thanks for all the work you're doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
No problem. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna skip assignments, cause I think we either all know them, or I don't, or I'm the only one that doesn't know them, and I'll look at the video.
This is not.
The next date will be
So-
October 1, 2024, 6 p.m. right
So
here.
this one, US.
Everybody okay with that?
Oh, yeah,
Do I have the right date?
Yeah, it is.
This is
October,
parking lot.
October
This is
first.
Tuesday, yeah, October 1st,
Okay.
Yeah,
And this is kids' world.
right? Tuesdays?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
I know.
Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Carla's always good from adjournment. Do you have a second?
One second.
Dylan.
Are we going back to Wednesdays after golf or?
Golf is over.
Thank you.
You want it?
Well, I mean,
Thanks for
somebody
the
out there
cookies.
that leaves over.
Wednesdays would work better for me, but I'm just one person.
Well, we switched because there were some golfers show up anyway.
Well, now that the weekly golf stuff's over with, I mean,
Doesn't matter.
it don't really care to me. I don't
Doesn't
really care
matter
if
to
it's
me.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I can move my stuff around for any day of the month. It don't bother me.
Let's have a vote on it since we're changing something that's in the code. Not changing the code. What's the right way to say that? Let me check the code to make sure that we're not in code on the first Tuesday. And if we're not, we'll change it
Okay.
if we want.
The only thing is, like, next month, that's the day before Oktoberfest. I don't know if anybody's getting anything or anything. Oh, that's probably something we should have been talking about too. Usually we do it at night.
Technically aren't adjourned yet.
Yes.
And that's coming up before the next meeting,
Yes,
or right
No.
after the next meeting.
after the next meeting. Oh, that's October
Are,
1st.
are we
Tuesday,
interested as a
Halloween.
board in doing something for Porktoberfest? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, how did it go last year?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey,
The
Is that
night
a hike
hike,
over there?
We
the
did
night,
too.
the night hike was for trick or
Porktoberfest?
treat.
That was
That's
trick
trick
or
or
treat.
treat.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on,
Trunk or
I messed
treat.
up.
Trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and a lot of people went
The
that
night
trail,
hike
went the
was
trail,
fun.
so.
We've got another meeting yet to prepare for that. I
Yeah.
assume we're gonna do about the same thing.
Wasn't it cold last year for trouble?
Oh, yes.
I just say it
It
was
was.
brutal.
They had that
was.
fire going, thank goodness, down there in
Yeah.
the center.
It was
Yeah.
really cold.
So, Oktoberfest, coming right up. Do
I
we
have
wanna-
I have often gone down with my little jar and put it on the table and a sign, pick up any money I can.
For the trails?
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Pop can box.
so I don't know, do you want me to go down and,
We
Sit
might
there?
wanna put
Has
some-
it
Do we
been
wanna
worth
make
your-
a-
Has it been worth your time? I mean,
well, I would make $20-50.
We learned on Hometown Pride that vinyl signs are extremely cheap to make
Yeah.
and come in fast.
Well, and we might wanna do something for the dog park.
They'll probably do that.
Yeah.
They'll
Maybe
do
we
that.
could do a combined, like, table kind of thing, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like it, it would be nice to have a sign that said, you know, trails, Sac City
How big a
Trails.
table? How big a table you got?
Well, whatever the size of tables that they have down in the,
Are those 6?
uh,
I don't know. Are they 4x8?
no,
They're not 4x8.
No.
That'd be huge.
they're,
They're
they're
2
3 by
by
6 or something
2 by
like that.
6.
Yeah, 3 by 6.
So a 6 foot by 2.5 vinyl banner saying
Yes.
what?
Sac City Trails Committee, you know, building for
PRN.
the city,
For the future.
building for the future.
Yeah.
Trails for the future.
Trails for the future.
Trails.
What-
to
whatever.
the future.
Yeah, trails, what,
To the future.
Donation spot.
Yeah. What, we welcome your contribution.
trails through nature.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah, yeah, figure something out.
I'll just get in touch with you, see what
Yeah.
you need. So you're going to decide to just go rogue and set a table up there.
Yep, that's what I do.
Panhandle.
Make them kick you out.
Yep,
Okay, that works for me.
they've never kicked me out before. I
Oh,
took t-shirts down too when we had the
Oh, that's
t-shirts.
right, yeah.
Sold t-shirts, $5.
What were the t-shirts?
Trails,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, water trail.
water trails.
They were white and they had like a map.
You had a map on the back.
Oh, okay.
I still have them.
You still have them?
Yeah.
Well, you can bring those in, we could sell those. They're old.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Alright.
Try this again.
Is anybody opposed? We are adjourned at 7:06.